took 25 years to understand what can be revealed to you in 89 minutes. 25 years of searching for truths that were always present, yet hidden behind the noise of life. The lessons were not handed over in moments of ease. They were earned through countless encounters with the limits of human fear, the weight of uncertainty, and the irresistible pull of self-doubt. And after all that time, the realization emerged with stunning clarity. The difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one is not measured in years, but in awareness. There exists a force, not mystical, not mythical, but profoundly real, that shapes everything you experience. It lives behind your decisions, behind your habits, behind your expectations of yourself and the world. This force determines who rises and who remains motionless, who thrives and who merely survives, and who merely survives. Some spend an entire lifetime unaware of its influence. Others recognize it too late to change the path they have walked. But today, in the span of minutes, you can learn what took decades to uncover. This force responds to no one's wishes, but it surrenders completely to clarity. It bends for those who know what they want, and it resists those who wander without direction. It cannot be bribed with good intentions nor persuaded by idle desires. It is activated only by the intensity of your purpose. When you claim your direction with absolute conviction, this force expands the horizon in front of you. When you hesitate, it folds your possibilities into shadows. Most people underestimate the power of a single determined mind. They wait for a sign, for a moment, for permission. They look at their circumstances and mistake them for destiny. But circumstances are nothing more than reflections of past choices. They do not dictate what you can become. They merely reveal what you have believed up to this point. And when belief changes, everything can change with it. What took 25 years to understand is that life transforms only when you decide to influence it from the inside out. Every achievement begins as a seed planted in the soil of the mind. Every setback is a reminder that the seed must be protected, cultivated, strengthened. Nothing of significance will grow in a mind filled with doubt, hesitation, or confusion. But a mind aligned with purpose becomes a living magnet for opportunity. This is not about positive thinking. It is about accurate thinking, the ability to see yourself not as you are, but as you are capable of becoming. It is about stripping away inherited fears, outdated beliefs, and invisible limitations until nothing stands between you and your potential except the decision to claim it. If you listen with the intention to understand, you can compress years of struggle into moments of revelation. You can take the insights gained over decades and apply them today. You can begin shaping the life you've imagined instead of drifting through the life you've accepted. In the next 89 minutes, you will be given what took a quarter of a lifetime to grasp. The mind creates the path. Purpose lights the path. Belief clears the path. And action takes you down it. What you choose to do with that knowledge will determine everything that comes next. The mind is the master architect of every outcome you experience, the silent engine behind every triumph and every failure. It is the most powerful instrument you possess, yet the least understood, least trained, and most underestimated force in your life. What becomes of you, your achievements, your progress, your influence, begins not with opportunity, not with resources, not with luck, but with the thoughts you allow to dominate your consciousness. Every result in your life can be traced back to a thought you accepted as true. That truth is both liberating and confronting. It means you are not bound by the conditions you were born into, nor defined by the obstacles you have encountered. It means your potential is not limited by your past, your surroundings, or the opinions of others. Instead, your destiny is shaped by the mental patterns you cultivate, consciously or unconsciously. You rise to the level of your thinking, and when your thinking expands, your world expands with it. A mind left unmanaged becomes a factory of limitations. It produces fear, doubt, hesitation, and memories of failure that disguise themselves as predictions of the future. It convinces you that comfort is safety and that ambition is risk. It whispers that the life you dream of is unrealistic, unreachable, or reserved for someone other than you. And the tragedy is that many people listen to those whispers, never realizing that these thoughts are not truths, only habits, only habits. Yet when you direct your mind with intention, everything begins to shift. A purpose-driven mind is a force unmatched by circumstance. It is focused, disciplined, and resilient. It takes setbacks not as endpoints, but as feedback. It sees obstacles not as barriers, but as materials to build with. materials to build with. It generates solutions, not excuses. And most importantly, it refuses to be defined by the limitations of yesterday. The transformation begins when you recognize that you are not the mind's servant. You are its master. You choose what thoughts take root. You choose what thoughts take root. You choose what beliefs shape your behavior. You choose whether your mind works for you or against you. This level of responsibility is not light, but it is freeing. It places the power of change directly in your hands. To shape your mind, you must give it direction. A mind without direction drifts. It becomes vulnerable to influences, opinions, and fears that have no place dictating your future. But a mind guided by a definite purpose becomes focused, sharp, and immune to distraction. It moves with clarity. It interprets challenges as stepping stones. It refuses to settle for anything less than the life you choose to create. Your thoughts are blueprints. Your beliefs are building materials. Your faith is the foundation. And your actions are the labor that turns vision into reality. When these elements align, the world cannot help but yield to your will. The external becomes a mirror of the internal, and life begins to reflect the vision you hold with unwavering certainty. Once you understand this, you realize that nothing outside of you holds the key to your success. The key has always been within your own mind. And the moment you claim it, you begin constructing the world you were meant to live in. There comes a defining moment in every life when clarity becomes louder than comfort. It is the moment when the truth you have avoided begins to demand your attention, and the potential you have ignored refuses to remain silent. In that moment, you recognize that the limits holding you back were never the world's limits. They were your own. They were beliefs accepted without question, fears adopted without examination, and stories repeated until they felt like facts. The turning point arrives when you look inward with honesty and see that success is not withheld from you. It is earned by those who choose it with conviction. Not a shallow desire, not a fleeting interest, but a deep, unwavering purpose that becomes the central command of the mind. With that purpose, the confusion that once clouded your path begins to dissolve. You stop scattering your energy. You stop negotiating with laziness, distraction, and doubt. Your life becomes intentional. But every great purpose demands a price. Nothing worthwhile is achieved without a corresponding level of discipline. Discipline is the quiet force that separates wishing from achieving. It is the willingness to do what must be done, regardless of mood, circumstance, or convenience. Most people fail not because they lack potential, but because they refuse to develop the discipline required to unlock it. They want the promise without paying the price. They want the reward without enduring the preparation. Persistence is another part of that price. Persistence is more than effort. It is commitment in motion. It is the refusal to retreat even when results are delayed, even when progress is invisible, even when the process feels heavier than expected. Persistence transforms intention into reality. It is the power that breaks through the barriers that stop others. It is the shield that protects your purpose from the world's doubt and your own moments of weakness. Without persistence, dreams dissolve at the first sign of resistance. With persistence, resistance becomes fuel. And then there is self-mastery, the highest price and the greatest reward. Self-mastery is the ability to govern your impulses, to lead your emotions rather than be led by them, to choose growth over comfort repeatedly until greatness becomes a habit rather than an aspiration. Those who master themselves gain an undeniable advantage. They become immune to distractions that derail others. Their thoughts, actions, and intentions move in harmony. They become aligned, focused, powerful. When you pay these prices willingly, something remarkable begins to happen. The world, which once seemed indifferent, begins to shift. Opportunities that were invisible begin to appear. Paths that seemed closed begin to unfold. People who align with your purpose begin to enter your life. What was once out of reach becomes inevitable. This is the promise. If you develop a purpose strong enough to guide you, a belief strong enough to sustain you, and a discipline strong enough to elevate you, then the results you seek will no longer be possibilities. They will be outcomes, not because the world changed, but because you did. And when you change at your core, the entire structure of your life rearranges itself to match the strength of your new identity. Now is the moment when knowledge must become action. Everything revealed in these minutes means nothing if it remains an idea, floating in your mind. The insights gained over 25 years, distilled into this message, hold no power unless you choose to embody them. Understanding alone will not transform your life. Only action can do that. And not hesitant action, not occasional action, decisive, unwavering, purpose-driven action. The first step is to choose, with absolute clarity, what you want your life to represent. Not what you think is realistic, not what others believe is appropriate, but what your inner conviction whispers when the noise of the world is silenced. Your purpose must be definite. It must be specific. It must be powerful enough to ignite emotion, strong enough to command your focus, and clear enough that every decision you make either moves you toward it or away from it. Once your purpose is defined, belief must follow. Belief is the bridge between intention and reality. Without belief, purpose is a wish. With belief, purpose becomes destiny. Belief is not blind optimism. It is disciplined faith. It is choosing to trust your vision even when the world offers no evidence. It is refusing to allow doubt to corrupt the blueprint of your ambition. Belief must be practiced, strengthened, and guarded. For when belief becomes unshakable, the mind aligns with precision, and the world begins to respond. But belief without action is powerless. You must move. You must begin before you feel ready. Act before conditions are perfect. Push forward even when clarity is incomplete. Waiting has stolen more dreams than failure ever has. Do not wait for confidence. Confidence is built through action. Do not wait for reassurance. Reassurance emerges from progress. Do not wait for permission. Permission is granted only by the person you become, not the person you are right now. Commit to daily progress, not monumental leaps, but consistent, deliberate steps. Each action taken toward your purpose, no matter how small, strengthens the identity required to achieve it. Discipline becomes easier when your purpose is clear. Obstacles become lighter when your belief is strong. Persistence becomes natural when your identity aligns with your destiny. And remember this. The next 25 years will either confirm your potential or reveal your hesitation. They will either reflect your power or expose your excuses. The direction of your life from this moment forward is shaped not by chance, but by choice, your choice. So today, choose with intention. Choose to rise above the limitations that once confined you. Choose to claim the vision that has lingered in your mind, waiting for your courage to awaken. Choose to stand at the edge of your old life and step boldly into the one you were meant to create. Do not let this knowledge fade into the background of your memory. Turn it into motion. Turn it into progress. Turn it into transformation. For the life you desire is not waiting for time. It is waiting for you.